Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader. And before we begin, we'll take a look at our risk disclosure. Just want to remind everyone that the content is being published and distributed by the Market Trader. It be used as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does contain a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor, and that an investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through our risk disclosure here, guys, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to the news portal news and see what news we have planned today that could potentially impact us in the markets. So I have here visible to everyone the financial news, okay, portal, financial juice, okay. So basically, we're kind of reviewing here. So we have the U.S. S&P Services PMI flash coming in at 9:45 a.m. this morning. We have the U.S. U.S. existing home sales coming in at 10 a.m. And then we have U.S. existing home sales also at 10 a.m. Not sales change. U.S. existing home sales change also coming in at 10 a.m. And then we have a number of members speaking. We have Trump, Fed member Goolsbee, Fed member Williams, Fed member Kugler, all speaking throughout the session today. Okay, so yeah, so a few news events today that could potentially move the markets. Okay, so now that we have a feel for the news, we'll go ahead and turn our attention to the portal here in a minute. Just double checking some things here, guys. Okay, let's turn our attention to our portal. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at our first market today, and that's going to be the gold market. Okay, so as normal, we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. We're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. And first of all, we need to kind of adjust this for the U.S. session. Okay, but we're gonna turn this off here for a moment and take a look at the higher time frames here to get a kind of a sense of what the market is trying to accomplish here. Okay, so if you watched my weekly pre-market review, we discussed this consolidation pattern that was being established here in this market, and I gave a couple of scenarios here right around this 34.80, 34.75 level. You can see that the market is in some sort of consolidation, triangle pattern of sorts here, and I kind of discussed the emphasis and the importance of maybe holding this bottom trend line to continue this bullish structure in the market. Okay, so the daily, while has been bullish, okay, is starting to show some signs that the momentum to the upside is beginning to wane here a bit. Okay, So we have not made any new highs on the daily in a few days now, ever since the was this June 12th. Okay, actually, sorry, June 13th was the last high that we made in this market. Uh, Ever since then, we've posted either bearish or neutral bars, okay, in this market, and we are currently developing yet another bearish engulfing candle in this market. So uh, it's going to be important over the next days here to understand whether we potentially break some price structure here to the downside. And if we do, that could open us up to lower prices, certainly as low as 3,300 and maybe down to 3,200 based on the daily chart. All right, moving into the 4-hour chart. Okay, again, we can see that consolidation pattern here. You can we're kind of taking a closer look at these bars. You can see that we are in some sort of price structure to the bearish side. We had price close as a bearish engulfing candle, and we have really haven't been able to regain any sort of momentum after this bearish candle here. We've made some attempts here to go to move higher, but it has only been received by sellers. Okay, so as we were kind of alluding to on the daily chart, the 4-hour chart seems to also follow this view that maybe we are moving from a neutral to more of a bearish kind of market here. Again, just emphasizing the importance of holding this this trend line that we arrived at in our analysis of the daily chart. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and move into the 30-minute chart. Okay, you can see that we have our volume profile here on the right, and you can see that we have quite a, I would say, a very balanced kind of volume profile here, kind of a bell kind of curve here. So we there's a fair amount of volume that's being created here at these levels. All right. So we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to compare specifically Friday here, probably, and it's probably going to get something similar here to the right. So let's go ahead and locate our Friday session here. Okay, that's it's the start of it, and then this is the close of it. So you can see here that that price has managed to open below our area of value. Okay, so indicating that we could be in, I guess, an environment where there's a fair amount of maybe potential interest here to the downside. Now, with that said, I do see that there is an area down below here. Okay, we've already kind of reacted away from it. That could be supportive, right? So we had price leave this area, got to this, got close to this 3,400 level and reversed. Well, where did it stall? Well, it stalled around this 33, 3370 level. And now we're developing a little bit of a bullish engulfing candle in a market that appears to be in some sort of range, right? 3,400, 3370 seems to be that range. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark those levels as this is the resistance zone here at 3,400. I'm going to mark here a little bit of a supportive zone here down below. We're going to mark that in green, indicating that it is indeed support. Okay, so we have 3370, 3,400 as kind of the range that we are currently in this market. Now, price is currently below VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP from London. Okay, so there's this is London. London also price is below. So we have some indication, okay, some data to support maybe some potential for further downside move in this market. What we need to get through is this 3370 level. If we do manage to get through 3370, I would say certainly this 3360 level, and then open potentially up to some other levels that below us. Okay. But right now we are reacting away from this 33. I'm calling it 3370. You can call it 3375. We are reacting away from this level, and we seem to be content in remaining in this range between this 3400 and 3370 level. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up our initial balance range now. That we're looking at the 30-minute chart here. Let's see if we can locate it. There it is. Okay, so there's our initial balance range that's being established in this market. Currently, we have price below, okay, our VWAPs, both the anchored and the daily. Okay, so I'm gonna be keen on understanding what type of candle this ends up becoming here to close out the initial balance range, and whether we get an engulfing candle. If we end up getting an engulfing candle, that could lead to maybe a potential, reversal back up to the top of the range here in this market. Okay, I'd like to see price break above the initial balance range, above this VWAP, and hold to provide me that confirmation that indeed could be a possibility. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up the ranges here. So we have the ASR range here in Asia, kind of provided a reversal. We're going to take a look at London since New York hasn't officially opened here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look here and see where we are with respect to London. Okay, so let's make sure that we did make that change. Yes, we did. Okay, so you can see that we had a nice reversal off the top end of the range here at 3391.7. We've come and found some support here at 3375, 3370. So the question now becomes are we going to continue? Okay, are we going to break some structure here to the downside and maybe lead back down to 3353? Or are we going to are the buyers going to make a stand here and drive price and maybe retest the highs of the day? Okay, so that's kind of what I have for you. In the gold market, I would say that we need to continue to wait for some additional confirmation or additional data. I'm kind of interested in understanding what the market participants are able to do with the initial balance, okay? Whether it's able to break initial balance to the upside, or whether it breaks initial balance to the downside, in which point I would like to see a break of this to maybe offer me maybe a target down below here at 33.54, okay? All right, so that's kind of what I have for the gold market. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the crude oil market here. Okay, looking at the crude oil market, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily chart. Okay, so you can see at the daily we're in development of quite the bearish candle here at the moment, in an otherwise in the market that has been rallying of late. Okay. So quite a bit of strength on these daily candles. This obviously is still under development. We identified this 79.80 level here as an area of some potential resistance in our weekly review. Okay, so this area this area above does appear to be an area of that where we could potentially locate some sellers. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance here for a moment. We're up against what appears to be an area of support here around 74. We managed to do a gap open. We filled that gap. Now the question becomes: is this area of 74 that has been broken going to serve as an area of support? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and maybe move this support line down below here around 74. 74 is going to be a level that I'm going to be particularly taking a look at to see if it does manage to hold and offer us maybe a potential reversal to retest some of the highs that we've had in this market. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance since the market is officially opened. We are starting to develop a little bit in the way of maybe a little bit of a double bottom. We're in the midst of maybe developing a 3-bar kind of reversal pattern around this 74 level that I had mentioned earlier. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. We're going to start with let's see, the open of Friday, take that into the close of Friday. Okay, and you can see that price opened just on the high of value here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and extend this line to the right. Okay, and you can see that this candle here opened above value. Okay, indicating that there is an attempt by some participants to see if they manage to get price to a higher place. We are, however, you can see here as we make lower lows and lower highs, that we are in a bit of bearish structure at the moment. Really, I would need to see price. I would really need to see price get above VWAP to really begin to embrace any sort of bullish move, even though we are in an area of maybe some potential support. Okay, there it is. So I would like to see, assuming that the 674 level is indeed going to hold, then we would like to see price break above 74.65, get above this 74.94, and then maybe we can get back to the not quite that, maybe even the highs of the session here at 77.50 or 78. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead now and open up our anchor VWAP just to get a sense for where London stands in all of this here. So we're going to go ahead. This is the anchor VWAP from London. So we're kind of hovering between price hovering above it or below it. We've already discussed the double bottom that's being generated here in this market. Okay, that could cause price to move higher. Okay. But we are, in a fair amount of structure that indicates that there's still a fair amount of sellers in this market here. Okay, we have at the start of the session yesterday and all the way through the overnight session, there's a fair amount of sellers in this market. Okay, we haven't really been able to make any breaks of structure to the upside. So I would say, even though we are in an area of support, which could cause price to rally, we have to maybe continue to look for some bearish opportunities in this market, particularly in areas of strength here, right? So VWAP being maybe a logical area. Certainly, this level above here at ASR high could also offer us some opportunities to the downside. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move into the equity markets, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Nasdaq. All right, we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart, and as we were reviewing the weekly, when we're doing our weekly preview, okay, review, we identified that this 22,250 or 22,240 level was behaving as maybe a potential resistance. Okay, we also talked about that maybe this upside move or this bullish direction that we're currently in maybe is starting to see a little bit of waning in momentum. Okay, right now we have developed we're in the process of developing a bullish candle up against an area that appears to be an area of support here around say 21,600. Okay, if we do manage to hold, okay, if we do manage to hold this 21,600 level, then we could be in store over the next few days of revisiting this 22,250 level. Okay, so over the course of the last say few months, we've been in somewhat of bullish structure here, right? We've made some higher highs and higher lows. As I mentioned of late, we are seeing a bit of a slowdown. Okay, a bit of a slowdown in the momentum of price advancing higher. Okay, to the point that we actually managed to close above this channel up against an area of support. Okay, moving into the 4-hour chart. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart, you can see this 21,600 level has been an area that has generated some support here in the past. It has again been supportive. We've tested this area here a number of times, as you can see, right? We pushed above it. We pushed above it, came back, retested, found the same buyers, drove price higher, came back to retest it. Now the comment I want to make here is that we weren't able to get as high as we did in this prior swing before sellers stepped in. Okay, so the question now becomes: is this seller still present in the market around this 22,000 level? I'm going to go ahead and mark this area as maybe an area of say concern. If we are indeed going to continue higher, this is an area that needs to be held above. Okay, so we have the 22,250 level, we have the 22,000 level, and then we have a couple of areas below us that appear to be supportive. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart, we're going to go ahead and expand our view here a little bit. We had a nice reaction off of ASR low during London here. Okay, nice reaction off of ASR low here around 21,781. That caused price to get above our VWAP. Now we do have this again. Looking at this on the 30-minute side, we do have another level here of 21,920 that we need to get above in order to continue this move to the upside. Otherwise, this area could serve as maybe an area that where we could see maybe price fail. Okay, so 21,917, 21,920 is going to be an area that I'm going to be looking at particularly closely. Okay, won't draw the initial balance range because we're still about 60 minutes away from the open, but I will draw a fixed range volume profile to get a sense for where price could potentially open. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. We're going to drag that across to the close. Okay, so right now you can see it appears in the next 15 minutes, unless there's a change in direction here, that price is going to open inside value from Friday, which leads us to the potential of maybe a range day. Okay, now we do have some news today at 10 a.m. that could move the markets. Okay, but right now it does appear that there is that price is currently in balance or currently in temporary fair market value. Okay, so headed into the session again, I would say that I'm looking at the market maybe as maybe a bit say on the short term here on the 30-minute side, maybe bullish to neutral. If I'm going to continue to maintain my bullish stance, I do need to see price get above this 21,920 level, okay, in order to continue my this bullish view. Okay, otherwise, if we are unable to make unable to break price above 21,920, there's a good possibility that we could remain in range for most of the session. Okay. We're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP here just to this discussion, just to get a sense for where London is in all of this. And you can see that price is also above our anchored VWAP for London. Okay, so we had a fair number of sellers here during London. And now that as we've approached the US session, we do see that there's a fair number of buyers that have kind of stepped into the market here. Assuming that price closes above, assuming the price remains above both our anchored and our daily VWAP, then I would say that we have a reasonable chance of maybe potentially challenging this 21,920 level. Otherwise, if we are unable, there's a possibility we can continue in this range or potentially retest maybe some of these lows here. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead now and move on to the ES markets. Okay, S&P. Again, we'll take a look at the daily here once I enter the right symbol. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily. Again, asking ourselves the same question that we asked ourselves in the NASDAQ. Okay, well, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, you can see here of late that the market has been trying to head higher. Okay, as we mentioned as we were reviewing the Nasdaq, the market has started to slow down. Okay, momentum wise, right? Our advances, although continue to making some new highs, is starting to slow down. And of late, you're welcome, Frizu. And of late, you can see that we have yet to make any sort of new highs in this market. Okay, so 6,100 6,100 does appear to be an area of importance. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mark that level as a potential area of resistance. And assuming that we are going to continue this advance to the upside, we need to see price get above this 6,100 level. Okay, otherwise we open the door for maybe potential price to move lower. Okay, now we are seeing price above this, say, 6,000 level. This was an area of importance here in the past. We did break above it. We came back, we tested it, and we managed to get up to 6,100 before we found some sellers. And now we're back, close to that 6,000 level again. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart here, okay, you can see that price of late, okay, has been making some lower highs, lower lows. Okay, we have not really broken any structure here recently to the upside. Okay, every attempt that we made to head higher has been met with sellers. We made an attempt here to get higher. It was sold off. We gapped down here to start the Sunday. We filled that gap, and now we're back to retesting some of these highs. So again, this 60-50 level, I'm going to go ahead and draw as again on the 4-hour chart is another area that I'm going to pay particular attention to. Okay, as another area, maybe some potential resistance, and it would align with the general bearish structure that we're currently seeing in the S&P. Okay, you're welcome, George. Okay, so let's go ahead now and take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, you can see price remains above our VWAP, which is bullish. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to start with the open of Friday into the close of Friday. And you can see, similar to what we saw in the NASDAQ, price is currently, I would say, probably in the upper end of the value range, okay, indicating that maybe there is a little fair amount of strength, maybe a little bit stronger market that we're inheriting here. You see that price has reacted away from the 6,000 level, which is our ASR low. And then price is above our VWAP and developed a nice bullish engulfing bullish candle here. And then we have kind of a buying wick, retesting the conviction of these buyers, and that has been met in a positive way. All right, so last order of business here is we're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP here. So we're going to add our anchor VWAP to the start of London. Okay, and you can see that again, similar to what we were seeing on the NASDAQ, price is both above our VWAP, above our anchor VWAP, indicating that maybe there is a fair amount of interest here to the upside. Okay, the only caveat that I want to make here is that price is currently inside the value range. Okay, inside the value range of Friday. Okay, which could indicate that we could continue to stay in this range throughout the day. Now we do have some news events today that could again cause the market to rally or to pick a direction. But I would assume that the price will remain in this kind of range until that news event. Okay, I do see that we have a fair amount of resistance here around 60-40. Okay, and then we have some support down below here at 6,000. So 60-40, 6,000 seems to be the range. We have our value area high here at 6,030.75. All visual levels that could cause participants to decide to step into this market. Okay, all right. Before we review the last market of the day here, guys, just wanted to kind of encourage folks to hit the like and subscribes. and also comment on these analysis to, again, not only to benefit the portal, but to encourage me to continue to do these on a daily basis. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome, Niels. Hopefully, I'm assuming, I'm hoping that you find these reviews helpful in your analysis and an understanding of the markets, and to obviously continue to do these things, obviously need your support and continued support. So thanks again for those who continue to support me, and look forward to your continued support. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead now and take a look at the last market of this session. Okay, and that is going to be the Dow. All right, and in my weekly review, I felt that the Dow was a little bit of the weaker of the three markets. Okay, I found that price was maybe a bit lagging in reaching some of the same levels that some of these other equity markets have reached. You do see that we did break some structure here. We do see that price continues to make higher highs and higher lows, similar to the Nasdaq and the S&P. You do see that price is beginning to show some signs that maybe there's maybe a little bit of a loss of momentum to the upside here, and but we did manage to continue to hold above 42,000. Okay, 42,000 appears to be a very important level in the Dow. Okay, we have its counterpart 43,000 as an area of resistance. Okay, so if we really are going to make any headway in continuing to advance this market to the upside, we do need to see price get above 43,000. Okay, if we can get above 43,000, then we have the potential of another leg higher. Okay, otherwise, we can continue in this range until market participants decide when to make either move to the direction to the upside, or if we aren't able to make any headway to the upside, begin to auction lower. Okay, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart here and see what the market is trying to accomplish. Well, you can see here that we of late have been in some sort of range. Okay, no real direction as to where they're trying to take the market here. Okay, you can see maybe a little bit of a descending triangle pattern here. If I take some of these tops here, you can see that maybe we are in some sort of descending triangle pattern. Okay, using the 42,000 as possible bottom end of this ascending triangle here. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing now. Okay, so are we going to continue in holding the descending triangle? Well, we're up against that area of resistance now. Is this going to continue to offer resistance? If so, then we can have the potential of seeing price continue to make a leg lower here. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart, again, we're going to go ahead and do our fixed range volume profile analysis here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at where price is in relation to Friday's session here. Okay, so let's locate the 6:30 candle, 9:30 candle, drag that to this candle here. Okay, so you can see that price is on the lower end. Okay, lower end of value, although in value. Okay, you can see that price has, while it remains above, you're welcome, Ferdor, while price remains above anchored VWAP, it has not been able to get above this 42,525, okay, which appears to be, or actually 575, which appears to be an area of some resistance. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP to this discussion. We're going to locate the start of London here. Okay, so start of London, you can see that price, while it remains above, we did have a fair number of shorts in this market. Okay, now as we approach the U.S. session, we see that buyers are maybe beginning to take an interest in this market, but we are still very much in the control, I would say, of these folks until we break 42,000, let's say 575. I would say that we are still, I guess, somewhat in potential bearish control. Okay, we do see that price is above both our anchored and our daily VWAP, which gives the bulls maybe some hope that we are going to continue to the upside. This is the upper end of that triangle pattern that I had mentioned and I had drawn on the higher time frame. So I'd like to see if I'm going to remain somewhat bullish on this market based on the VWAPs. I'd like to see price get above 42,575. So I'd like to see something along these lines, break above 575, and then maybe use this 42,575 as an area for me to revisit and participate into the upside. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for you guys today. We're just gonna go ahead and take a peek here to see what is going on in these other markets. You can see that. Let's go ahead and if I can open up initial balance here. So you can see that the market is establishing our initial balance range. We're about a few minutes away from this initial balance range, establishing the gold market and maybe potentially developing a little bit of a 3-bar reversal pattern. This candle closing as bullish could provide maybe another leg to revisit the highs. Okay, so gold looking to maybe head higher. Crude oil continues to show some weakness in this market, even though it is in an area of demand here at 74. Okay, again, trying to maybe develop a little bit of a reversal pattern. We have kind of a double bottom that's been established here, but we have some weakness kind of stepped into this market at the moment. Now, if this firms up and we can get above 74.65, I would say that maybe we have a potential maybe for a rally, but we do remain in bearish structure. So I would say of the markets, I would say that the crude oil continues to show signs of bearish price action for me. Okay. And then last but not least, we'll look at the NASDAQ one last time here as we head into the open, a minute away here. So let's type this in correctly. Okay, so here we are again, seeing some signs that maybe we are going to be in some sort of balance area or some sort of range. Price action today looks like the market is indeed going to open inside value here. So the question now becomes, which direction are they going to take this market based on this range, based on sort of the difference of opinion that we got in London and New York? We could remain in this range throughout the session. Okay, so important levels, I would say this 21,790 on the bottom, and then above I would say 21,912. That seems to be the range of particular interest. So we'll have to wait to see what price does, where do participants end up taking price. But it does appear that we could be either in some sort of range kind of price action in today's session. Okay. All right. So I think that's it for me, guys. So happy to entertain any questions if you have them. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and close this session as we close most sessions, right? Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day trading, guys, and we'll talk again soon.